Now I'm going to read a short excerpt from his book called Except for Palestine, and then he will speak. So he writes about the BDS movement. We are not suggesting that support of BDS becomes the standard for being a progressive. Many people who support equal rights for Palestinians oppose the BDS movement for strategic, tactical, or other principled reasons. However, those who support, actively or through silent complicity, laws that stigmatize, penalize, or even criminalize BDS are absolutely out of step with liberal and progressive values. While Israel should never be unfairly isolated or targeted, it also cannot be shielded from principled and organized political pressure through boycotts, divestments, and sanctions. These tactics have always been critical tools for producing peace, freedom, and justice for the vulnerable. Palestine cannot be an exception. And now I present Marc Lamont Hill.
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Yo, peace everybody. I'm so glad that I could sneak into this campus. I got invited to speak here tomorrow. They were trying to give me an award for race and justice and a check for $10,000 to give a speech on campus. And after I saw what happened to y'all, I watched students be criminalized for holding peaceful rallies. I watched students get smeared as anti-Semitic for speaking out against the genocide happening in Gaza. I watched students get suspended, innocent students, doing the thing that we say we want them to do, which is to exercise critical consciousness. I watched them get suspended. I said, keep your blood money. I won't come into this campus until those students have the suspensions revoked. Until the president steps down. And until this institution divests from an ethno-state, divests from an apartheid state. I wrote a book called Except for Palestine with my dear brother Mitchell Whitney. And we wrote that book because there's a lot of people that feel real good about being liberals. They love to pat themselves on the back about how liberal they are. They walk up to me and they go, "You want to vote for Obama?" But you can't be a liberal or a progressive. You damn sure can't be a radical if you have an exception for Palestine. Don't tell me you care about innocent babies when 2/3 of the people murdered in Gaza have been women and children. Don't tell me that. Don't tell me you care about the sanctity of life. An IVF center was just destroyed in Gaza that killed thousands or destroyed thousands of embryos. Where are the pro-lifers at right now? Where's all the liberal corporate, should I say neoliberal corporate feminists that say they care about the plight of women, but they only want to lean into multinational capitalism, but they don't want to address the fact that Palestinian women are being killed every single day in Gaza, the West Bank, and inside of Israel. Then you got these cowardly academics. They say, it's shame. That's right, shame. It ain't a safer job in the world than to be a tenured professor at this place. But they will sit in their office writing books about social movements, writing books about resistance, while the real resistance is happening on this lawn, right here, right now. And salute to all the faculty who have been courageous here, who have been determined, who have defended God. But don't tell me you care about schools when every university in Gaza at this point, all 12 universities in Gaza have been destroyed. of elementary schools and middle schools and high schools have been destroyed. Professors and scholars and thinkers have been targeted. They have been assassinated for having the courage and the temerity to stand up against the occupation, to stand up against the siege, to stand up against an apartheid state. Don't tell me you care about academic freedom when a scholasticide is happening all throughout Gaza, all throughout Palestine, all throughout the Palestinian diaspora. I work in media, and I just got off TMZ about 15 minutes before I came here. Seriously. And Harvey said to me, and I like Harvey, but he said to me, they're having anti-Semitic marches. They're marching for hate. I'm walking through here and I'm seeing freedom libraries. I'm seeing little babies running around. I'm seeing people eating plates of chicken. I'm seeing nothing but love. Revolution is always violent, but revolution is always driven by radical love. Y'all not out here because you hate anybody. Y'all out here because you love justice. You love freedom, you love equality, and you can't stand to become accommodated and normalized to injustice. That's why you're out here. And that's what folk gotta understand. There is anti-Semitism in the world. That's a fact. And there are spaces where anti-Semitism is on the rise. That's a fact. And it is true that we must stand in solidarity with our Jewish brothers and sisters to fight anti-Semitism at every single turn. That is I'm gonna tell you some more facts though. Zionism is not Judaism. And there is nothing more anti-Semitic than to associate the beautiful tradition and faith and ethnicity and identity of Judaism with the ugly, violent, apartheid, genocidal ethno-state of Israel. The world is watching y'all right now. Part of why the world is watching y'all is because they think y'all ain't gonna make it. They think y'all gonna get bored and go home. That's what they waited on. They said, oh, they'll march for a day. They'll protest for a day. They don't know who they're dealing with. They don't know who they let on this campus. They don't understand that every single day, we are on day 200 of Israel's war. Today is day 200 of Israel's war on Gaza. And we're going to be out here every single day marching and speaking and chanting and ducking and barbecuing and protesting and doing whatever we got to do until there is a free Palestine.
Free Palestine.
Free Palestine.
Free Palestine.
We got work to do, y'all. The protest is the spectacle. You need a spectacle. Spectacles keep people on task. Spectacles get people's attention. Spectacles hold the powerful accountable. Sometimes the spectacle becomes a light. I grew up in the hood, we had roaches. When you have the lights on, roaches do whatever they want in your crib. They walk around, they eat your food, they sit on your couch, they DVR shows. But what happens when you turn the lights on?
They scatter.
The roaches scatter. When the light comes on, the powerful have to be held accountable. Right now, the light is on, and the liberals in that White House that told you that they cared about justice have to be accountable for why they're about to send tens of billions of dollars more over to fund an imperial war. They got to do some explaining of how they continue to shield Israel in international courts and international bodies. How do you veto a ceasefire? How do you watch 7 international work? Even the rest of the world said, oh my God, white people died from the World Central Kitchen. It must be serious matter. Even regular old liberals and just little white people said this was wrong. But Joe Biden's White House still couldn't stand up and say that the killing of humanitarian workers is a war crime. It's a crime against humanity. And yes, they got to explain that because the light is on. And in November, the biggest of lights is going to be on. Because they think every single one of y'all are going to be so afraid of our open enemies, which you should be. Trump is something to be afraid of. Trump is human garbage. But they think that you're going to be so afraid of that you will be unwilling to hold them accountable for this. But y'all different. You're going to hold the liberals accountable too. We're going to demand that they stop funding these imperial wars. We're going to demand that we no longer veto Palestine's right to statehood. We're going to no longer be an ally to Netanyahu. But let me say this and be very clear. Do not be seduced into the liberal left-wing or Democratic narrative that the problem is Netanyahu's right-wing government. They like to make you think that the problem is a particular election cycle. The problems of Israel don't begin when Netanyahu comes to power any of the times. The problems of Israel begin when Palestinian people were dispossessed of their land. Begin when Palestinian people were expelled, over 700,000 Palestinians expelled between 1947 and 1949. That's when the problem begins. The problem in Israel begins when there is a construction of an ethno-state that provides rights to some people and not others based on their ethnic or religious identity. That's a problem of Israel. The problem of Israel is that there are more than 60 laws on the books right now that discriminate against Palestinians for not being Jewish. The problem with Israel right now is that they are continuing to hold the longest military occupation in modern history. Shame! And the problem with Israel is that even though they pretend that they left Gaza in 2006, that all they really did was redeploy their troops to the border. They've continued to control Israel by land and by air and by sea. The electromagnetic sphere, the population registry. Gazans have not had 1 minute of self-determination. They have lived in a cage. They have lived in a concentration camp. They have lived in unlivable conditions, but Palestinians have something called sumud. They continue to fight. They remain steadfast. They continue to plant olive trees. They continue to resist, and we continue to resist with them. But we will not allow the world to believe that the problem of Palestine is a problem of Palestinians. The problem of Palestine is a problem of settler colonialism. The problem of Palestine is a world that will watch and cry for Ukraine and say nothing as Palestinians suffer every single day. I'm gonna leave y'all alone, but listen. What happened on October 7th was awful. And from my moral compass and position, it was indefensible. The killing of civilians, the killing of innocent people. October 7th was a disgrace in many ways, but history did not begin on October 7th. Y'all pay too much money for tuition. I know I do. Y'all pay too much money for tuition to not go deeper than October 7th. You have to understand this as a more than 100-year war on the Palestinian people. And the war continues today. And we will continue to fight until that war is over. We will continue to force these institutions to divest, to boycott, and to sanction any institution, not individuals, but any institution that continues to profit and benefit from this ugly apartheid state, from this disgusting occupation, from this vicious genocidal war on the Palestinian people. We will remain strong, we will remain steadfast, we will remain uncompromising, we will remain unyielding, we will remain loving, we will remain courageous, we will remain intersectional, we will remain committed until there is a free Palestine!
Free Palestine!
Free Palestine!
Free Palestine!
Free Palestine!
Free Palestine!
I love y'all. I support y'all. I'm here for y'all until the last day. Free the land, free all political prisoners. Free Palestine.